hardest part of adopting your child. Everyone warned us about teenage adoptions being impossible. When we met Jake at 15, he'd been in the system for 8 years and had this reputation for running away from every placement within weeks. The caseworker pulled us aside before our first meeting. "This kid's been through 12 homes," she said. "He's smart, but he's got walls built so high you'll need a ladder just to see over them." Jake sat there during our meeting, hoodie pulled up, earbuds in, completely checked out. When I asked about his interests, he just shrugged. When my husband mentioned we had a spare room he could decorate however he wanted, Jake actually laughed. Not a happy laugh. "You'll change your mind," he said. The first words he'd spoken, they always do. We brought him home on a Tuesday. The first few days were awkward, but not terrible. Jake would emerge from his room for meals, answer direct questions with one-word responses, and disappear again. He reminded me of a feral cat we'd once tried to help, always ready to run. By Friday morning, his room was empty. I found a note on his pillow that just said, "Thanks, but this won't work either. Don't take it personally." My husband wanted to call the caseworker immediately. "Maybe we're not cut out for this," he said, pacing around Jake's abandoned room. Maybe everyone was right about teenage adoptions, but something bothered me. Jake had only taken his clothes and phone charger, but left behind this beat-up composition notebook I'd seen him writing in constantly. He carried it everywhere, protective of it, like it contained state secrets. Against my better judgment, I opened it. I expected angry rants about foster families, or maybe song lyrics. Instead, it was full of detailed observations about every family he'd lived with, written like some kind of scientific study. Day 3 with the Johnsons. Dad yelled at Mom about leaving dishes in the sink. He apologized later, but she didn't talk to him for 2 hours. They'll probably divorce within 2 years. Day 7 with the Petersons. They keep asking if I'm settling in okay, but what they really mean is, are you going to steal anything or burn the house down? Mom hides her jewelry box when I'm around. Day 12 with the Rodriguezes. They fight about money every night after they think I'm asleep. Foster care stipend isn't enough to cover what they thought it would. I'll be gone by the end of the month. He was keeping score, documenting every family's dysfunction like he was gathering evidence that no one actually wanted him. The entries got more cynical as they went on, like he was building a case against Hope itself. The last entry was about us, dated 3 days ago. Day 3 with the Millers. They seem happy, but give it time. Nobody actually wants a broken 15-year-old with trust issues. Mom keeps trying to make conversation, and Dad bought me expensive headphones like that'll make me stay. They'll realize I'm too much work soon enough. I closed the notebook and felt my heart break a little. This kid wasn't running because he was bad. He was running because he was convinced everyone would eventually give up on him anyway. I drove to every place a runaway teenager might go. Bus station, public library, McDonald's, the mall, nothing. Finally, at 2 a.m., I tried the 24-hour diner downtown. There he was in a corner booth, that same notebook open in front of him, writing by the light of his phone. I slid into the seat across from him. He looked up, genuinely shocked. "How did you find me?" "Lucky guess," I said, signaling the waitress for coffee. "So what's your prediction about us? What's going in the notebook tonight?" His face went red. "You read it." "Yeah, I did. And you know what? Your observations about people are scary accurate. You picked up on things about those families that probably took them years to figure out about themselves." Jake stared down at his notebook. I can tell when people are pretending, when they're going to give up. "What if I told you that my husband and I are probably more broken than you are?" He looked up confused. "We tried to have kids for 10 years, I continued. Failed fertility treatments, miscarriages, adoption applications that went nowhere. We failed at the one thing we wanted most in life. Maybe we need someone who understands what failure feels like." Jake was quiet for a long time, turning his pen over in his hands. "You're not going to send me back?" "Not unless you want to go back, but I have one condition." "What?" "You keep writing in that notebook, but maybe try writing about good things too. Not just the stuff that's going to fall apart." That was 3 years ago. Jake's 18 now, starting college in the fall with a full scholarship to study psychology. He still keeps notebooks, but now they're filled with observations about human resilience instead of human failure. Last week he showed me his latest entry, day 195 with Millers. They kept their promise. Still here. Maybe some people actually mean what they say. He's right, some people do.